Today's Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. This is the second hearing this month for the City of Tempe hearing officer. My name is Vanessa McDonald. I'm the hearing officer, so I'll be conducting today's hearing. I have something to read into the record, and then we have just one abatement on our agenda this afternoon, so it should be pretty quick today. City of Tempe hearing officer is authorized by Arizona Revised Statutes and the City of Tempe Zoning and Development Code. The hearing officer is granted the authority to conduct public hearings to decide upon the abatement of code violations occurring on properties within the city. These violations include deteriorated pools, structures or landscaping, storage of junk or refuse, and inoperable or unregistered vehicles. Abatement actions are brought before the hearing officer by the city's Code Compliance Division, typically after numerous attempts at contacting the property owner to obtain voluntary compliance with the code. The hearing officer may issue an order directing the owner, occupant, property manager, or other responsible person to remediate a code violation or authorize the city to abate the property in order to correct the code violation. The cost of the abatement is the responsibility of the owner of the property where the violation occurred and will be collected as an assessment against the property in violation of the code. Any property owner who's aggrieved by a decision of the hearing officer may file an appeal within 14 calendar days after the hearing officer has made a decision. The deadline for appealing any decision rendered today is 3 p.m. on July 2nd, 2024. Appeals are heard by the Board of Adjustment, after which they may also be appealed to the Superior Court. A property owner has 14 days after the hearing officer's decision to either file an appeal or bring the property into code compliance. If neither of these things happen within the required 14-day time frame, the property will be abated by the city. On today's agenda, we have just two items. I mentioned a single property abatement, and we also have a set of minutes from June 4th, 2024. And I'd also like to make some introductions. Joining me this afternoon from Community Development are Cassidy Hernandez and Sean DeFara. Thanks for being here, you guys. First item on our agenda is the consideration of meeting minutes from June 4th, 2024. Cassidy sent those to me shortly after the hearing on June 4th, and I believe they accurately reflect what took place at that hearing. So I'm going to go ahead and approve the minutes from June 4th, 2024. The second item on our agenda is a request for approval to abate public nuisance items at the Walton property. This property is located at 1051 West Manhattan Drive. The applicant is the City of Tempe, represented this afternoon by Code Compliance Inspector Hector Heredia.
Thank you, Madam Hearing Officer, Ms. McDonald. As stated, my name is Hector Heredia. I am a Code Compliance Inspector with the City of Tempe Code Enhancement Division, and I am here this evening to request a 180-day open abatement for the property located at 1051 West Manhattan Drive within our city's jurisdiction, 85282. This case was initiated approximately 9 months ago on September 27, 2023, for junk trash debris, dead palm fronds on tree in the front yard, and also a dead tree in the backyard visible from public access points. But due to the lack of communication with the property owner, lack of corrective measures, citations, and ongoing concerns, are here today requesting the abatement approval. As stated, this case was initiated on 9/27/23. An anonymous complaint was received regarding junk trash debris, dead palm fronds on trees, and a dead tree at the location. This was then verified, and a first notice was mailed to the property owners. On 10/13/2023, at the follow-up inspections, no corrections were made, and a final notice was mailed to the property owner. On 11/3/2023, after minor progress and ongoing efforts, an extension was granted towards compliance. Shortly after, on 11/28/2023, the case was, one date back, and on 11/06/2023, a first citation was issued after the property was not brought into compliance. The citation resulted in an FTA or failure to appear. Shortly after that, on 11/28/2023, the case was postponed but monitored through through the winter holidays, excuse me. At the beginning of the year, on 1/26/2024, after additional landscaping concerns were identified, an updated revised final notice was issued. In the revised notice, all violations were outlined and a deadline extended. Shortly after that, a couple months after that final extension, I state that on 5/6/2024, at the time of final inspection, no changes were noted, and the property was not brought into compliance. After multiple unsuccessful attempts to communicate with the property owner, citations issued, the abatement package was turned in on for the June 18th hearing officer agenda, which is today. At this time, I'd like to present some photos earlier this morning at around 10 a.m. Outlining the concerns that continue to go on.
So can you tell me what the communication has been with the property owner?
There hasn't been any, other than just a notice is sent.
Okay.
In the very beginning of our case, Miss Walton did leave a message, but never followed up with a response to my response to her. And after that, communication totally stopped. Unfortunately, although her efforts were noted, they weren't enough for me to either close the case or present her other options based on that lack of communication.
Right.
And as we can see here, outlined above the arc is 1051, demonstrating the
Inspector Heredia,
locations.
bring the mic over with you. Thank you.
Demonstrating the locations, address numbers, and underneath it, you can see that there are some scrap wood and items that can also be seen from public access points. In this other photo, we can see the palm tree with the palm fronds and the dead tree that are both captured within the window of the photo presented. Here are the palm fronds, and back here is the dead tree. This is another photo of underneath the porchway from a different perspective, where we can continue to see that there are several items loosely classified as junk trash debris or scrap wood and metals that aren't properly stored. The follow-up photo is an overview of the backyard, where we can see that most of the landscaping is either dead, deteriorated, or in need of care, completely outlining what our main concern was from the beginning of the case, which is a huge dead tree in the forefront of the photo here, and throughout the base of the photo, we can see that the landscaping is deteriorated as well as intertwined with junk trash debris, mostly classified as loose scrap metal or woods. I'd like to apologize for the order of the photos, but this is a picture of the front yard, of the front side yard adjacent to the neighbor, where we can see that there are areas where they are totally deteriorated using gardening screening. We can see here that there's a tabletop and some other loose items, mostly scrap wood and metals.
It looks like they were attempting to screen the trash and debris using the lattice work.
They previously had an RV camper park there, which was removed and no longer on site. This is just a further perspective pulled back from closer to the right-of-way area or the public access points, which would be the road, clearly outlining the view of that front side yard area. Also the backyard, where we can see the tree. This is the backyard the eastern side of the backyard away from the tree, which is outlined here, but we can also see that there are a lot of deteriorated landscaping, overgrown grass and weeds that should be addressed.
And so this abatement will clean up all of that,
This will clean
correct?
everything, the front and back.
Okay, good. I know sometimes the abatements are limited in the backyard, but my hope is that it will cover the whole thing.
In this case, the backyard was one of the initiating main concerns with the dead tree that is almost unavoidable from any point of view, even as far away as Hayden or Hardy.
Hardy.
So, yeah, excuse me. And this is the final photo of an overview of the backyard where we can see again that there is a lot of overgrowth, a lot of deteriorated landscaping, as well as improperly stored junk trash debris, loose scrap wood or metals, trash bins, bags, and the branches that confirm our concern.
Yeah.
At this point, I'd like to conclude my presentation asking for your approval in this particular case, noted at 1051 West Manhattan Drive within our city's jurisdiction, 85282.
Thank you. And to confirm that is for 180 days.
It's for
correct?
180-day open abatement, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for the photographs. They were really thorough. Mr. DeFara, anyone here wanting, or anyone on the line? wanting
Madam Hearing Officer, no one online.
Okay, and I'll make a note for the record. There's no one here in the chamber other than City of Tempe staff. So, I mean, clearly this pictures speak for themselves. Both the front and backyards are in pretty bad shape. At least we don't have a green pool. I noticed they drained the pool, so that one doesn't have to be taken care of. But given that it's been 9 months, that's a long time, and without any responsiveness from the property owner, I'm going to go ahead and approve your request for the 180-day open abatement for the property at 1051 West Manhattan, contained in CE 235266.
Thank you very much. We will also take the debris out of the empty pool as well to just unify the entire project.
Okay.
Thank you
great.
very much.
Thank you. That concludes our agenda for this afternoon. Mr. DeFara, any announcements?
One announcement, Madam Hearing Officer. The next hearing officer is Tuesday, July 2nd at 5 p.m. here in the council chambers and live on Tempe 11.
Great. Thank you. With that announcement, we're adjourned.